This Focus on Health segment is brought to you by Aurora Health Care.
Hello and welcome to Focus on Health. I'm Ted Stefaniak. We're at the Aurora Health Center in Oshkosh and we're heading over to the Diabetes and Nutrition Center. We want to give you some tips on how to handle holidays and special occasions with registered dietitian Kate Yonke. Well, thank you for joining us today, and this is a fun topic because a lot of people are involved in holiday parties, birthday parties, social gatherings, but something we don't always think about, and that's taking care of ourselves. And as a registered dietitian, what are some of the tips you can give us to prepare our mind and our body for these parties?
Well, thanks, first of all, for having me. And when it comes to the holidays or social gatherings or anything in general, we have to keep in mind that it's supposed to be fun. And it's not supposed to be torture. So when we think about weight gain and the stress and it really brings us down, let's put weight gain into perspective. So I brought in a model today.
Yes, I saw that sitting on the side.
Yes.
What the heck is this?
Yes. Well, why don't you take a guess?
Fat.
Okay, and how many pounds of fat do you think it is?
That looks like a 7-pounder.
Ooh, good, close.
Pretty close?
It's actually 5 pounds. Now, how many calories do you think are right here?
Oh gosh, 10,000?
Close, close. There's actually 3,500 calories in 1 pound, so there's 17,500 calories right here. Now, when you think about holidays and you think about social gatherings, how many pounds do you think you gain?
Personally, I don't want to talk about it.
Or just an average. What do people usually fear? What do they usually say?
Well, yeah, they don't want to put on weight.
Right.
You have to watch what you eat.
Yeah,
but,
they
but
usually
very,
say...
Very few people do that, though.
Right, they usually say 5 to 10 pounds.
Yeah.
Well, this is what 5 pounds looks like, and it's 17,500 calories, which is a little outrageous to think that you can gain it in 6 short weeks when we're referring to the holidays. So we'll put that right here because we'll kind of readdress it again. So breaking that down into numbers, there's about 400 extra calories every day in that 6-week holiday period that would equate to this. And on average, that's not what happens. Usually it's only about 0.8 to 1.4 pounds of weight gained in that holiday season. So when you fear a social gathering or you fear the holidays because of the stress or the added weight gain, it doesn't have to be a reality. So ease your mind and know it doesn't have to happen. And I know that there's another question about exercise. And that's actually the thing that's going to prevent any of this weight gain from happening. Yes, I'm a dietitian, and yes, nutrition is important, but there's going to be high-calorie things, and there's going to be things that you don't typically eat. So in order to maintain your weight, which is a good goal to start with, exercise is the absolute essential key. So finding ways to be physically active.
So since we're talking about exercise, should we start after the party, after the holiday parties, or should we get a head start with that exercise before we get to the parties?
Yes, good answer. You should always be exercising. Physical activity is essential in every way, shape, and form for our bodies, for health. It is a very, it's right up there. When it comes to nutrition and it comes to exercise, they go hand in hand. It's a very happy marriage when the two are together. So you should never do one without the other. So that's why you should really just focus on exercise throughout the holidays, because nutrition maybe isn't going to be top priority. And exercise can be, and that can certainly offset any negative weight gain that you might fear through these holidays.
Now, I know during the holidays, I have a big family. There are parties all the time. There is food everywhere.
Yes.
Any tips on how to avoid overeating?
Yes, many tips. What are you having your family over for?
Could be a Christmas party, could be a birthday party. It doesn't matter. When my family gets together, they're all bringing food.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a fun time to see one another, catch up, talk, right? Find out what's going on. So social gatherings become less of eating and feeding troughs, and they should be more just social. So that's the very first thing to keep in mind, is that you are there to socialize. So when it comes to all of the food sitting right in front of you, make sure that you don't immediately go to the table. Make sure that you grab a glass of a low-calorie beverage of some kind and you sit and talk. You stay away from where all the food is, and then you can approach the table and you can look at it. And you can say, all right, I can see everything that I might want. And you just got to remember that you know what things taste like. The first bite is always the best. So maybe you can avoid eating everything and multiple bites of everything and just try to really enjoy and savor it.
Now, if I'm hosting a party, are there tips that I can do to, besides just not putting food out,
Yeah.
what are some of the tips that I can do to make it a little more healthy for my guests?
Well, always keeping in mind that you have the options to go low calorie. So when you're attending social gatherings, you don't have that option. So that's where the other tips come in mind. But when you yourself are the hostess, then you can really look deep into recipes and find some healthy options. Veggies, fruit, low-calorie beverages. Make a really fun punch or cocktail out of some juices that are watered down with some spritzers or a seltzer of some kind. Those are easy ways to make your party low-calorie.
You mentioned drinks, beverages. A lot of times during a party, social gathering, alcoholic beverages are part of the scene.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with that, just besides the normal problems that you would have associated with alcohol?
With alcohol consumption?
Right.
Yeah. When you talk about calories, and we talked about 3,500 being in just 1 pound, we can break it down to 4 different types of calories. So there's fat, alcohol, protein, and carbohydrate. Fat has 9 calories per gram, and alcohol has 7. So it is the next highest calorie nutrient out there. And so you're always going to have lots of calories in your beverages. Like eggnog, perhaps, is about 300 calories in a cup. A White Russian is 300 to 400 calories in just a cup. So these are things that you really have to look out for. And I mentioned that 400 extra calories every day over the holidays is what it takes to put this on. So you have 400 calories right there in your beverage.
That's right there.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody wants to see you or another registered dietitian, do they have to have a referral, or can they refer themselves to you?
They can do both, depending upon their insurance coverage. Sometimes insurance coverage will require a doctor's referral for them to see us, and sometimes they don't even cover for them to see us, so then they can just come on their own. It all depends.
Okay, so you're not saying don't have fun during the holidays and during these
Definitely
parties.
Not.
But be good.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
For more information or to schedule an appointment with one of the dietitians, you can call Aurora Health Center in Oshkosh at 920-303-8700. I'm Ted Stefaniak. Enjoy your time with your family and friends, and we'll see you next time on Focus on Health.
This Focus on Health segment has been brought to you by Aurora Healthcare.